I'm Chef Stacy. Welcome back. We're here in the Journey Kitchen again in Apopka, Florida at Journey Christian Church. This month, it's Thanksgiving this month, y'all. So we are getting ready for the holidays. So you got to start thinking about your menu and what are you going to make? Well, I had something happen to me just a few weeks ago. We had this thing at our church called Serve Day. And it's a day where we gather volunteers and we send them out into the community to bless our neighbors. And we call it Love Where You Live. So one of the volunteers in my group was a gentleman, and I discovered he was from Canada. My mother is from Canada. I happen to have a picture of her. This is my mom. And this is me and my mom. My mom is from Canada. And I got to talking with this volunteer about Canada, and it just flooded me with so many great memories and thoughts of my mom. My mom is not with me now, but she's forever in my heart. But talking with this volunteer got me to thinking about Thanksgiving. Now, my mother used to cook the same meal every single Thanksgiving. And I know some of you are like that too. You make the same traditional meal every year, and that's okay. But for me, I always wanted something a little different. So I always try to come up with little twists on Thanksgiving. So as I was sitting here reminiscing about my mom and thinking about Canada, I thought about maple syrup. That'll make you laugh, but most of the world, a big portion of the maple syrup market is from Canada, is produced in Canada. So I'm gonna do a maple-themed Thanksgiving meal. So I've got 4 recipes to get through with you today. So the first thing we're gonna start off with is a maple baked brie. Now, I baked the brie ahead of time. Ooh. I just bought a round, and I've already just baked it. I did skim off just a little bit of the rind on the top. The rind is edible, but I just scraped a little bit off. I'm gonna reach over here and grab my plate. I've just got a couple of crackers here. And I'm gonna take this brie and put this on the plate with my crackers. Just got a little garnish there. You can use apple slices or any kind of crackers that you want. What I did beforehand was I mixed together some brown sugar, some maple syrup, and some chopped pecans, and I just baked that. I melted that in here, and I'm gonna pour it onto this. This is gonna be your appetizer for the evening. And I'm gonna give it just a little drizzle of maple syrup. That was cinnamon, brown sugar, little maple syrup that I just warmed together. We're gonna eat on that in just a few minutes. But look at that. This is really easy to do. Again, a brie round, 350 in the oven for a few minutes till it just starts to melt. We've got some pecans, brown sugar, cinnamon, and maple over the top of that. Can't wait we're gonna munch on that in a little bit. So next on your menu, I know that somebody is gonna make the dressing and the green beans, so I've got some other dishes for you. Next, we're gonna try some carrots. Now, of course, with my maple theme, we're going to do bacon wrapped carrots with a maple glaze with some cracked pepper on it. So I've got my carrots here. Now, it is hard to find carrots that are all the same size. So I did a little adjusting. Some of them were a little bit fatter than the others, but I just cut off the tips, I peeled them, and I cut off the ends just so they look a little bit similar. I just got a little pan here. I'm gonna spray it. And I'm using Applewood bacon. Let me show you what brand it is. I'm using a Greenwood Applewood bacon today. I kind of have a tendency to go for the uncured bacons and the ones with not a lot of preservatives. They don't last long in your fridge, so you gotta use them up. But bacon never lasts long in my house. My favorite go-to bacon, though, is a turkey bacon. But for this, I'm going with the Applewood smoked. So you've got your bacon. And of course, look, it does weird stuff, but you're just gonna take it and just kind of wrap it. Just wrap it around. And it doesn't have to be perfect at all. Just wrap that around there. Look at that. If you can't get your family to eat carrots with bacon wrapped around it, but this is really easy to do. And again, this is something you can get your kids to help with as well. All right, I got 4 carrots here. And use any kind of bacon that you want. Use your favorite brand, because you'll have some left over. Now first, we're gonna bake these for 10 minutes on 400, and then after that, we'll take it out of the oven, and then we'll brush the glaze on it. And the glaze is just gonna be some maple syrup with cracked pepper in it. Really easy. So I'm gonna shove this in the oven. Now, for the piece resistance, the main meal. Everyone does a big turkey for Thanksgiving, but if you're not having a lot of guests and you don't wanna do the 10-hour baking of the turkey, then try this recipe. It's going to be a maple mustard turkey tenderloin. Since it's my husband and I now, and then we always have just a few of the family members over, we don't have a big tribe to feed. So going with the big turkey doesn't work for us. So we're going with the turkey tenderloin, and I've got that in the fridge. I've got a turkey tenderloin, and now when you buy these, they actually come 2 in a pack, and you can buy them in any size you want. This one just happens to be a Jenny O, which is really lean. But grab that. We're gonna warm up, get my pan warm in here. The first thing we're gonna do is sear it. We're gonna sear it to give it a little color all over. Get my oil all covering the pan. We're gonna sear it to get the color all over it, and then we're gonna baste it. Then we'll baste it in what I have here. This, get that going there. This in here is some Dijon mustard, some maple syrup, and I've got just a little bit of crushed rosemary in here. And then of course I've got the maple again and the Dijon. Easy combination. It's making just like a little paste. All right, I got here some sizzle going on. I used to crack up because since my mother made the same thing every single year, we didn't get excited about Thanksgiving because we knew exactly what she was gonna cook. Believe it or not, my mom didn't like cooking, so she would do whatever was easiest. So she never veered from the tried and true traditional meal. But we're gonna go off track today. We're gonna do something a little different. But as this is cooking, I want you to wait till it gets some color on the bottom. See how it's still light colored? Let's move Mama's picture out of the way there. We want to wait till we get a little bit of color on this. We got this popping like popcorn today. Let me turn my heat down. Turn my heat down. There we go. Let's get some color getting on there. See, it's starting to get a little color. We want to get a little color on this. We're going to let that cook. Got my oil splattering everywhere. I'm just got a regular baking pan. I'm going to spray it. And then after that, we're going to pop that in the oven. Now, sometimes the pieces are a little fat, so every now and then you'll have to turn it on its side to get. You want to make sure you get a little brown on all sides. I can already smell this smelling good because I'm standing over this maple flavoring too. I had somebody ask me, well, isn't using maple syrup just like using sugar? Yes, maple syrup is a sweetener, but maple syrup actually has a lot of great properties in it. It's high in antioxidants. It's got zinc, magnesium, potassium in it. So you're getting some really good stuff in it too. And it also releases just a little bit slower in your body than regular sugar. So we've got some sizzle. See, we're getting a little bit of brown bits there. That's what we want. You want to get a little bit of that brown going there. That's exactly what you want, because we're going to finish that off in the oven in just a few minutes. So again, this was a really easy mix, and you can adjust the seasonings any way you want. If you want it a little bit sweeter, you can add just a little bit more maple, but if you want it a little bit more tangy, then you can add just a little bit more of the mustard. And I didn't add garlic this time, which is, you know, is my go-to. I love to add garlic to stuff, but I'm not going for that flavor this time. I want the maple to shine. So I stuck with a little rosemary, and then we're gonna put some fresh rosemary on the plate. Alrighty, see how that's just starting to brown up a little bit? That's what you want. Now, I've got you covered on an appetizer, I got you covered on a vegetable, and I've got you covered on some turkey. So you let somebody else in the family do the dressing, and I know somebody's gonna do that sweet potatoes with the little marshmallows on it, or the green bean casserole. I think that's a standard in almost everyone's household. Getting some nice color going there. Now, what you want to do with the carrots, after you let them cook for a few minutes, I'm going to take it out of the oven, I'm going to show you. After you let the carrots cook for just a little while, for the first 10 minutes, then you're going to take this maple syrup and the cracked pepper and just kind of drizzle it on there. You can start seeing the little black flecks from the syrup on there and the pepper. Plus it gives them a little shine. All right, I'm gonna put that back in the oven, let that keep going. Let's see how the color is looking on this. See, look at that. Got a little color on there, that's what you want. Perfect. Now, we're not gonna let it completely cook in the pan. We're gonna finish it in the oven, but I just wanna get it a nice little golden color on the outside. All right. I am gonna take this little mixture we made, and now get to slather it on. And we're gonna just let that roast. Look at that. Perfect. Now imagine, you can make this, you can use the same mixture on a larger turkey. So if you have a big turkey, the big one in the pan, just take some gloves and just rub it all on the skin and everything. And even if you want to rub it under the skin, I love it when you pick up the skin a little bit and rub it underneath there, and then bake. Put this in the oven. While we've got everything cooking, let's talk about the best part, dessert. Ha 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 ha. Today, I have got some cookies for you. These are Maple Pecan Cookies. I made these for my husband last week, and he's just like, when are you gonna make these again? I said, I'm gonna make them for Thanksgiving, I promise. But I used a 10 by 10 pan. The recipe calls for like a 9 by 9. But you can use any size pan you want. Sometimes when I make them, I'll even use a larger pan than this, because then you can you can make the dough and it'll be a little bit thinner. Now you can see how the height is on this one? It's got a good height on it. If you use a bigger pan, and if you like to do cookie shapes, like here, I got my little maple leaf cookie cutter. If you want to do cookie shapes, make it in maybe like a 9 by 13 pan, and then you can just pop out cookie shapes like that. Really versatile recipe. Now, also I cooked it in parchment, and I made the parchment come up over the sides of the pan. So that way, you see how easy I lifted it out? Easy, easy. I'm gonna grab my knife. Now, you can do this one or two ways. You can cut it first, which is how I like to do it. You can cut it first and then ice it, or you can just ice the whole top and then cut it. But I'm just gonna show you how I like to do it. It almost looks like a brownie, kind of a little bit of a brownie texture. Looks like a blondie. Look at that. Now you got the individual pieces. decorate them individually. So see how you got now, you got plenty of slices here. And what I did was I mixed up some icing. Simple recipe. Butter, some cream cheese, a little drizzle of maple syrup, and then just a little splash of milk and some 10x sugar. Whip that up, and I'm gonna put it in a piping bag. Now, let me just show you. I've got just a little pastry bag with a tip, and I'm putting it down in a cup because that makes it easy to stand it up and fill it. That's just one of my little tricks. Put that in there. See how it's easy when you got it in the cup already? Shake it all down, give it a twist, move that out of the way, and then you can just make really pretty little designs on the top. I just think that looks a little bit prettier. This is one of my favorite treats. It's got a little chopped pecan in the batter, and I've got all the recipes for you online. You just got to go to journeychristian.com/cooking with Chef Stacy. You'll find all these wonderful recipes. And of course, every single one of these today have a little maple twist on them. Look at that. Ha 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 ha. Almost just a perfect amount. Now, this little mixture here is some little candy. Let me see if I can see it. It's a little candy toffees and some chopped pecans. And we're just gonna put a few of those on there. Now, this will be a hit. Somebody else will make the pies. You show up with this. That looks so good. Can't wait to start munching on all this. Look at that. That's gonna be great. And now let's finish off what we started here. Of course, you know that turkey tenderloin and those carrots aren't done, but I've got some waiting for you. Look at this. Look at those carrots. And we're gonna give them one last brush. Oh, let me put a little bit more in here. You bake them for 10 minutes, then take them out of the oven, brush them with the syrup and cracked pepper, then you bake them for about 15 minutes more. Now, because carrots are not all the same size, some carrots may take a few minutes more to cook. But these have been in the oven for a little while. Now look how shiny they get once you, look at that. This is making my stomach just go crazy. Can't wait. Woo, look at that. All righty, we'll put the carrots on the platter here. Oh. Now to finish this off, let's get our turkey out of the oven. Now we've got the turkey, and I want you to see right there. I'm gonna drizzle it one more time with the little honey mustard glaze. Not honey mustard, maple mustard. There we go. But most of us have one of these, a little electric knife. It's gonna be loud just for a second. Oh. Oh. Get those all the way through there. Everybody gets a nice thick slice. Now let's put this on our platter. Ooh. Look at that. You think you can make that for Thanksgiving and bring that to the table? And so simple, turkey tenderloin, seared, put it in the oven. We're adding that little maple mustard with rosemary on it. You got your maple glazed carrots. Oh, and then while the guys are all watching football, we've got all of that. And then it's time to eat. Oh, the best part of all. Let's eat. Now, I've just got some graham crackers here. Brie is so deliciously creamy and soft. And then we mixed it with the maple and the cinnamon and oh, the little bit of pecans and so good. I have all this food in front of me. Then we get a carrot. I can't eat this whole thing. I'll cut that in half. You got a nice tender carrot wrapped in bacon. Who doesn't like bacon? Look at that. It's all wrapped in bacon, cracked pepper on it, applewood smoked. The carrot is soft. You get the sweetness. You get the sweetness from the maple. You've got to be able to get your family to eat carrots with this on it. And then lastly, a little bit of turkey. I'm gonna take the end piece here. Can you see how moist that is too? And it's got that maple mustard glaze on it. And this whole meal is really easy to make. I love the hints of rosemary. That feels seasonal. But you could also use sage. You could use sage, which would just be equally as good. And if we didn't have enough, we get to eat dessert. I wait for this all day. Got our little bars here. I'm gonna break this one in half for myself. You can never go wrong with a nice cookie. It's got a little bit of a crunch in there because of the pecans. You got that soft sweetness of the maple. And then you got the cream cheese icing. And then the kicker is the little toffee bits and the pecans on top. And again, you can make them in different shapes. You can make it in little shapes or just cut them in squares like I did. Well, I hope Miss Rosemary would be proud that I just did something a little bit thinking of Canada. I don't know if you got to see this picture, but this one is me and her together. Can you see the resemblance? My little ode to Canada. So I have to thank that volunteer I met on Serve Day who just kind of inspired me to think about Canada again. But really easy way to plan your menu for Thanksgiving. And what I love about this is that food creates memories. You attach memories when you have meals, especially when you have it with loved ones. So when I get soft memories just thinking about my mom, I know that you will create wonderful memories with your family. Remember to always make food a part of your faith journey. It's a part of you. What you put in you is just as important as what you release out to the world. So thank you for joining me today and have a wonderful Thanksgiving with your family. And go to journeychristian.com/cooking with Chef Stacy so you can get all these recipes so that you can make more memories with your family. I'll see you later. I get to finish this. Of course, I'm going for the dessert.